Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Zoey if you're new here. Today's video is going to be a rant video. I have a story time for you guys about the worst possible airport experience I've ever had in my life. Absolutely the worst. Yeah, so I'm going to tell you guys my little story about what happened at the airport when I was trying to come home. Because it was not a fun situation. But yeah, if you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe before you leave and join our family. Also, you can give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys want more story times like this, and I will film them every now and then. Also, if you want to follow me on any other social media, you can check the description below. My Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter will all be down in the description. And yeah, I don't think I have anything else to mention right now. So let's jump into this video. So I went out of town in early July to go see my family, and I went with my daughter, and it was just me and my daughter. But when I was coming home on the 17th, so last week, we had like the just worst experience ever. I was on time for my flight. Everything was okay. We were like an hour early. We got to like sit down, have snacks, and like, you know, just chill, hang out for a little bit. And then they told us that our flight was going to be delayed an hour because the weather in St. Louis and around St. Louis was really bad. So I was like, I don't have an hour to spare because I had to fly to St. Louis to get a connecting flight to go to Atlanta. That hour was my layover hour from my flight to my connecting flight. So I was like, oh my gosh, I was freaking out. Holy shit, what am I gonna do? Like, am I gonna miss my connecting flight? And luckily we got to board on time and took off on time, so everything there was fine. And then when we flew into St. Louis, like I said, there were storms like all around the city. We had to fly around. My flight was supposed to only be a 45-minute flight. It's a very short flight from Arkansas to Missouri. And when we got to St. Louis, we had to fly around the city for an hour and 15 minutes-ish. And I was freaking out. Freaking out because my flight took off from St. Louis to Atlanta at 7:20, and it was like already 6:45, and boarding time for that flight was supposed to be like 6:50, I think. So freaking out, guys. Freaking out. Finally we landed, whatever, we get off the plane, and my flight was supposed to take off at 7:20 like I told you guys, and by the time I got off of the plane and into the actual airport, it was 7:40. Oh my gosh, I'm having a panic attack at this point. I have my 3-year-old with me. I'm pregnant. I can't be stuck in St. Louis. I don't have anybody in St. Louis. I didn't know what would happen if I missed this flight, if they would allow me to get on another flight. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I'm not sure how it would be handled. So I'm freaking out. We get out, we're at gate 12, and my flight is supposed to be at gate 20. I was like, okay, I'll just book it to gate 20, see if it's left yet, see if it's still boarding, see if they're waiting for extra passengers. Okay, so I was hoping for the best. I was hoping that was the case, hoping it didn't take off yet. I hoped it was delayed a little bit because the storm that was around the city. So I booked it to gate 20. I had an umbrella stroller for my daughter, luckily, so I put her in her little umbrella stroller and just booked it and ran as fast as I could, pregnant as crap, with a carry-on bag and my daughter in her stroller. Just ran as fast as I could down to gate 20. I get to gate 20 and it says it's going to California. And they're already being boarded. And I was like, oh my gosh, I missed my flight. Oh my gosh. And at that point, like, I was just panicking and like starting to get teary-eyed. And so I went to go look at the screens to see, because you know they have like the big screens in airports with all of the flights, the flight numbers, the flight times, where the flights are going, blah, blah, blah. So I went to go look at the big screens to see if I could find my flight, to see if it had departed, and my flight was not on the screen. I don't know why it wasn't on the screen, because it should have been one of the first cities on there, because it was Atlanta. But I couldn't find it. I could not find it anywhere. So I go back to gate 20, and I'm looking at the information desk, and the information desk has like 8 people in line for it. And I was like, are you effing kidding me? Are you kidding me right now, out of all times? Are you kidding? Okay, so I went to the information desk, and then it popped up on their screen, because they have a screen behind them, and it said that Atlanta had gone to gate 10. So I didn't think anything of it. Like, I didn't even look at the time, look at what time that flight was at, nothing. And I ran down to gate 10, and about halfway there, it clicked in my mind that I saw that the time said 5:10, that flight had left that airport at 5:10. And so I run back down to gate 20. At this point, I'm winded. I'm out of breath. I can't breathe. My lungs hurt. My chest is burning. And then I'm standing in line still for the information desk, still 8 people in front of me. The airport workers are literally the absolute slowest people in the world, I promise you guys. So anyway, so I'm waiting at the information desk. Literally nobody has moved. I've been in line for maybe 10, 15 minutes at this point. Nobody has moved. No one. There's still 8 people in line. So finally, it pops up on the screen that the Atlanta flight had a gate change to gate 40. And I finally saw it and was relieved and was like, oh my gosh, I have to get down to this gate as quickly as possible so that I don't miss my flight, because it didn't say whether or not it had been departed, and I had been checking on the app and everything, and it didn't say that the plane had departed yet. So I didn't know whether or not if it was still there or if it departed. I had no idea. So all I thought was I need to just book it to gate 40. I'm at gate 20, have to go all the way down to gate 40, and I just run as quickly as I possibly can. Well, gate 40 is the last gate in St. Louis's airport, and it goes down to like gate 30, and then once you get to 30, there's a long hallway that like gears you in a different direction, and it has one of those walkways that is like an escalator walkway. It's just a straight walkway, but the belt moves so you walk faster. So like I would say that the gate, that from where I was at to the gate, it was probably a good, I don't know, quarter mile, maybe a little bit further. Not exaggerating, guys. So I'm running. I get down to 30. I go down the hallway, get on the escalator belt thing, and at this point I'm just bawling my eyes out. I'm crying so incredibly hard because I'm in so much pain from having to carry my bag and push my daughter and run while I am 25 weeks pregnant, or 24 weeks pregnant. I was 24 going on to 25 weeks pregnant. And I was just in so much pain. You know when you run a lot and you get cramps in your ribs? That's what was happening to me at that point. And I was just like hyperventilating. I couldn't breathe. I was just terrified that I had missed this flight. And I was the most uncomfortable that I've ever been in my life. And I had my 3-year-old with me, and I'm pregnant. So it just made the situation so much worse. So finally, I run and I get to gate 40, and they're being lined up to board the plane. And I'm just so incredibly grateful that I found my flight and it was still there and it hadn't left. Because at this point it was like, I don't know, 8 o'clock or something like that, or past 8, and the flight was supposed to leave at 7:20. So I'm like, I get to the gate and I'm bawling my eyes out and I'm hyperventilating and I'm breathing really hard. I text my husband and tell him I finally found my plane. Everything's okay. We're gonna make our flight. Like, it's okay. And there was this really sweet, kind, like little old lady who saw me like freaking out and like crying so hard, and she gave me like a pack of tissues and she's like, I hope you're okay. I'm glad you made your flight. And I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I'm trying to calm down. I'm okay. And so we got to board the flight and left shortly after. And then that flight was rough. It was very, very, very rough. So like I said, there was nothing but storms all the way around St. Louis. So getting to our 10,000 feet situation, it was nothing but turbulence. Like we had to go through a lot of clouds. It was storming outside. There was lightning all the way around the city. So we had to get up and over the storm while the lightning wasn't in our area. So we had to get up, I guess we had to get up pretty quickly, but the turbulence was so incredibly bad. I've never had turbulence on a plane that bad before. The plane was literally going up and just dropping, just like a roller coaster, just dropping several feet in the air, and it was terrifying. I'm not scared of stuff like that. I'm not scared of heights. I'm not scared of planes. I'm not scared of roller coasters. I don't think any of those things are scary to me. I think they're, they get your adrenaline going. However, this flight terrified me because I'm pregnant and I have my baby with me, and, God forbid something happened while we're on that plane. So the plane kept, going up and dropping and, shaking so much and like moving a lot. And like, if you've ever seen like TV shows or movies where like people are in those kind of situations and they go, oh, 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 and like they just gasp and scream and yell. That's what was going on in my plane. And typically when you see movies like that, it's usually like when the plane is going down and like there's a plane crash or something scary or crazy like that. And so people really react like that in real life, which didn't make the situation any easier. And then on top of that, my daughter, the whole time we were going through the turbulence situation, my daughter was like, Mommy, the plane is falling. Gee, I don't think you should be saying that. I didn't know how to tell her that, but I was like, yeah, baby, yeah, it's shaking. I was like, it's like a roller coaster. And she's like, yeah. And I kept trying to close the window because I really did not want to see what was going on outside of the plane, especially because we were sitting at the wing, which I don't care for. I don't really care for sitting at the wing. So I kept trying to close the window. My daughter's like, no, I can't see. I want to look outside. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so to distract us because we had about an hour worth of turbulence. So to distract us, my phone had died, so I couldn't like put on a movie or anything like that. I had a book for my daughter in my bag. So to distract us, I was reading to her and trying just to talk to her and, make her feel comfortable and okay. And she really didn't care. She had no care and concern about what was going on. And then finally we get to Atlanta. It's clear. It's okay. Yay. And we land at 11:30 and we were supposed to land at 10:10. So we landed an hour and a half late. That was fine. That was okay. I don't care. As long as I got there safely, I could care less. But I still had to drive home from Atlanta. So I still had to land in Atlanta and then drive 2 hours to Greenville where I live. I get there. I have to plug in my phone because I have to tell my husband that we landed. We're okay. We're safe. Blah, blah. So I stop in like the terminal to check my phone and plug it in and let him know that we made it there safely, and to meet us in baggage claim. I get on the shuttle train situation that they have in Atlanta's airport. Get on the train with my daughter, and I think I was like terminal C, and I had to get to baggage claim, which was like 4 or 5 stops away from where I was at. So I get on there. I get to baggage claim, I see my husband, give him hugs, kisses. We're so grateful we're here. And then we make our way to the belts. I see my bag and my car seat, my like main bag and my car seat, and then I had a small bag. So I grabbed my car seat and my large bag, and I'm sitting there waiting for my small bag. Well, everybody from my flight was already gone. Literally, those were the last things on the belt. And then there was one other bag, and this bag happened to look like my small bag. It was the same brand and everything. It was just a different color scheme than my bag. My bag is blue and this bag was purple. And I was like, I wonder if the person who has this bag accidentally grabbed mine because they literally looked identical. And she just did it by mistake. And so we wait for like 30-ish minutes to see if anybody comes and claims the bag, to see if the bag comes out, you know, whatever. And so we wait, and nothing. And so my husband was like, just take it to the baggage service desk and let them know you think that they grabbed your bag on accident. So we get there and I'm like, okay, so I have this bag right here. This isn't my bag, but I think the person who owns this bag may have accidentally grabbed mine because my bag looks exactly like this one. And it was like an older man helping me, and he's like, okay. So he scans the information on her bag and calls her, leaves her tons of voicemails, and calls her. Literally, he helped me for 2 hours and did not say one word to me. Not one word. Did not tell me anything that was going on. He literally just let me stand there and look at him and did not say a word to me. Nothing. At this point, I'm getting pretty pissed off. It's 1 o'clock in the morning and I'm pretty mad. So finally he gets a hold of this girl and she's like, I'm still in St. Louis. So I didn't grab the other bag. I'm still here in St. Louis. He's like, okay, I'm sorry for bothering you. He finally tells me that, hey, she doesn't have your bag. After 2 hours of standing there with him, she doesn't have your bag. But it looks like your bag hasn't even been scanned yet. It hasn't even processed into our system yet. So you're telling me you knew this from the get-go, because obviously you looked at my information because I had my like receipt or whatever for my baggage claim. So you're telling me you looked this information up when I first got to your desk and you decided not to tell me that. Instead, you decided to let me stand here for 2 freaking hours, pregnant as crap, just so you could call this girl so she could tell you, no, I don't have the bag. It was 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock where she was at. So why would you think that she's going to answer you no matter how many times she calls you or you call her? I don't know. I don't effing know. I do not know, but man, I was mad. So he's like, okay, so your bag hasn't even been processed. It must have been delayed. What? How is it delayed when my plane got here? Like, I don't know. I do not know. So he's like, okay, so we have a claim out on your bag. Once we find it, we will call you and you can come pick it up. And he's like, are you guys local? And I said, no, we live 2 hours away in South Carolina. And he goes, okay, so this is what we'll do. When we find your bag, whenever we find your bag, we will have it sent to Greenville's airport, and either they can send it to you or you can pick it up from them. And so I was like, okay, whatever. That's the best this is going to get. And the thing that made this the worst situation that it could possibly have been is that I had all of my makeup in that bag. I had all my makeup brushes, all my makeup, everything that I use on a day-to-day basis, from primers to lashes to foundation, and just everything, all my nude lipsticks, everything, all my makeup was in that bag. Obviously I still had more makeup at home, but not my main products that I use day-to-day to film or to just do my makeup. So I was like freaking out about that because I had just signed a contract with somebody to do a job with them, and you'll see that later on. But I had just signed on to do a video with somebody, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, I have X amount of time to get that video done, and I just lost all of my skincare products and all of my makeup and all of my makeup brushes, and I was freaking out about that. So by the time he tells me that he gives me the claim information, blah, 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 and I was like, you know what, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it. It doesn't matter how upset I am right now. There's nothing I can do about it. So we get in the car, we drive home, and we didn't make it home until 4 o'clock in the morning. We left the airport at 1:30 in the morning, and we didn't make it home till almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And it was just a really, really, really crappy night. I just couldn't believe that the airport lost my luggage, and it was the most important luggage probably that they could have lost because I had jobs to do. So it was just the worst experience in my life. I swear. And I didn't get home till 4 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to be home at midnight. Because my flight was supposed to land at 10 and I should have been home around 12. So luckily the next day at 9 in the morning, they call me and they're like, we found your luggage. Do you want to come pick it up at the airport? And I said, no. The gentleman that I spoke to who filled out the claim said that it was going to be sent to Greenville's airport. And they're like, okay, no problem, we can do that. Went back to sleep, and then I got a call at noon, and they said that they had my luggage. It had just arrived, and it'll be ready for pickup whenever. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. Because I was really freaking out about it. Like, luckily, I was able to go pick up my bag later on that day, and I got my bag back. Got my bag back. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the story. Yeah, it was literally just the worst overall airport experience I've ever had to deal with in my life. People are lucky that I'm not as mean as I could be, because if I were somebody else, they probably would have got cussed out and screamed at and yelled at, but I'm not like that. So that's my story, guys. That's my story about how the airport lost my luggage and how crappy my experience was. But I will show you guys a little bump shot really quickly, because I know it's been a long time since you've seen my stomach, and it has gotten so much bigger. So there's my bump. I'm currently 25 weeks pregnant, and he is growing quite a bit. But yeah, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.